I'm being very festive today, in case you can't tell. Adjust this just a little bit. So I hope everybody is having a great week. And I got my bat ears on. I got my ghost glasses. I got my glow in the dark pumpkin bracelet. I've got my pumpkin shirt. I got my Hollywood Tower Hotel jacket on. So I am all decked out for you guys today. I even have my Halloween pop socket that normally would be on my phone, but because my phone doesn't fit in my holder without it. So yeah, so again, I got my bat ears. They're glittery in case you can't tell. And my fancy green ghost glasses. I'll give you a little close up there of the ghost glasses. And then, yeah, my little pumpkin shirt. So, yeah, I am ready for some Halloween action. Even though it's very sad here at my house for Halloween because we don't ever have any kids that come because we live in like an obscure kind of neighborhood where there's only like, how many houses are even in our neighborhood? I don't know, maybe 10. Um, yeah, maybe 10 houses in our neighborhood. And I think right now there's only 2 houses that even have little kids in them. And so most of the time, myself included, you take your kids somewhere else because this is kind of, it would be a lot for the kids to walk around. We kind of live in a circle and it would be a lot for the kids to walk around to each person's house because you have to, anyways. And so I get it why nobody comes here, but it's kind of a bummer. So I've honestly really never been able to give out Halloween candy, except when I lived at home with my parents in Billings, Montana. Because the other place that we lived here in town, obviously, I would be out taking my own kids trick or treating. So I wasn't home to pass out candy. And then when we moved here, it was the same thing. We're, like I said, an obscure kind of neighborhood. And I would take my kids somewhere else because it's too far to walk from house to house in our neighborhood with little kids because they would not be very happy. I mean, they're just kind of like, let's just keep going and get the candy. So, anyways, I'm kind of sad about that because I really, really enjoyed doing that when I lived at home with my parents. It was just so fun seeing all the cute little kids and their costumes. So it's kind of a bummer, but I mean, it is what it is. So my husband and I will just be sitting down here watching TV. Who knows? Maybe we'll watch some Halloween shows. I doubt it, but we might. Ooh, somebody says hello from Tucson. That's Corinne or Karen. My brother lives in Vale, so you probably know where that is. Very exciting stuff. Let's see if there's anything going on. My son came over for dinner Tuesday night, I think it was. So I made enchiladas and I sent him home with some because otherwise he doesn't really eat as a single young man. My hair's a little jacked up right there. Anyways, he says he's been eating frozen corn dogs for dinner. And I'm just like, oh, good Lord, don't tell your mother that. That's not what I want to hear. So I sent him home with a couple extra enchiladas and a couple of breakfast sandwiches that I whipped up while he was here. So what can you do? I mean, he's an adult. There's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is just try to send him home with food when I can, right? So while he was here, he did ask us if we would be willing to watch the doggy on Saturday. And I, of course, said yes. He's going to a Halloween party. So we will have a visitor at our house on Saturday, which is fine. My husband's off Saturday and Sunday, so he can play with the dog. So that should be fun. What else? I mean, honestly, nothing is really going on. It's not very exciting. Knock on something around here. So yeah, let's see. I'm looking at your comments, but it's kind of hard to read through these green glasses. If we're being honest here. Let's see. Cheryl says they don't get many trick-or-treaters and she lives in town. Patricia's going with her grandkids tomorrow. So fun. Let's see. You guys are loving my glasses. Yeah, they are kind of fun, aren't they? I mean, it's kind of hard to see out of them, but I'm not going to have them on for very long because obviously when I'm stamping, I have to wear real glasses that so I can actually see. So there you go. There's a football game on tonight. Don't know who I'm going to be rooting for. It's the Ravens and the Dolphins. They're both terrible. I don't love or hate either one of those teams, so I don't know who I'll be rooting for. Probably the Dolphins, just because I don't know. I'm back in the Dan Marino era. I was kind of a fan of the Dolphins back then, so I'll probably root for the Dolphins, but we'll see what happens. Anything else? Oh, one of my favorite new players got injured. Those of you, it'll be real quick football talk. I know not everybody likes football, but there's a new little rookie. I should a little because he's kind of shorter. His name is Cam Scadaboo, and he plays for the Giants. And he suffered a horrendous injury on Sunday, where he got tackled or something, and then his foot, like, like your ankles like this, but it went over to the side. I didn't watch it because I don't appreciate seeing horrific injuries like that. But so he's out for the season, so I feel really bad for him. Not just because he's probably in a lot of pain, but because, as a rookie, you're very excited to play football, and now he doesn't get to finish his rookie year. So bummer. So that's very sad. Yes, I love his last name too, Scadaboo. It's just kind of a funny last name, right? Oh, yes, and some of you have seen it, and you are, yeah, it's, I told my daughter that he suffered an injury, and then she messaged me back, and she said, "Oh, I wished I wouldn't have looked at it." And I said, "I didn't," purposely, because I knew from what I had read, I knew looking at it was going to be really icky, so I decided not to. So anyways. All right, well, I don't really have anything else exciting to say, except that's it. I have my bracelets that I talked about last week, where Francie gave me a gift certificate to my favorite bracelet store, which is called Pura Vida, and I got the bracelets, and so I'm going to show them to you guys. And so let me go ahead and flip the camera, and we will get the show started here. And then I'll be removing my glasses because I can't really see out of them to craft. So if they had bifocals in them, then they would probably work just fine. But they don't, so darn it. All right, let me get my little leveler out here, make sure that the camera is leveled up. That looks pretty good. Got to switch out the glasses now. I got a hair clip, but I don't know if I'm going to need it with these bat ears on. So I have a couple more cards and then the fun bracelets. So this is a card from Karen, and she was part of our catalog, our new product launch party that we had in September, and she sent me this gorgeous card. Love that so much, Karen. Thank you so much. And then I got this fun card. This is from Noreen, and this is for my hitting my million. So that's a really fun card. Disclaimer, less than 0.001% of demonstrators achieve that goal. So this is one of our fun kits where you have the fun, what is that called? The honeycomb thing that opens up. So this was one of our kits. I don't think it's available anymore. I think it's retired, but it was super fun. And then here are the bracelets. So they come in these little kind of packages such as this. And then you open it up and you get this little card thing. And then in each one of these little pockets is your stuff. So I got this little red and pink braided bracelet for Valentine's Day coming up. Pretty excited about that. I got a Halloween one. Obviously, I really can't wear it much this year, but I definitely got it for next year because I am a person that loves to do things for holidays. So I got a black and orange one. And then I got this 3-pack here, which is really fun. This is what I can't hardly wait to put on. So we've got this braided multicolored one in the middle here that's pretty thick. And then we have this one up here that's just like a bunch of green layers. And then these 2 little silver chains that are attached to that. So that's really fun. And then this one down here at the bottom is kind of a braided, I guess I would say pretty peacock blue. And then it also has a little chain that's attached to it. So I'm really, really excited to get this one on. And then finally, they always send you a couple of stickers. I don't ever really do anything with the stickers, but they do send you some stickers. So that's really fun. So thank you again, Francie. I really, really appreciate that. And I'm very excited to wear my new bracelets. So yes. Okay. In case you guys were not aware, tomorrow is the final day for everyone to join Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator if you haven't already. So you can get you pay $35 and you can choose to get $125 worth of product, or you can pay the $189 and get $99 worth of product. I'm going to take this off because that might not be annoying to you guys while I'm working. We'll see. And like I've mentioned before, I believe that the $35 kit is the best way to go, only because you can take that extra $60 or $65 that you would spend on this kit and you can turn around and place your first order as a demonstrator and get your demonstrator discount and earn Stampin' rewards on that $60. Plus, then you're working towards your $300 quarterly minimum goal. So I just feel like it's a really much better deal to go this route, unless, like I've said before, you're looking for the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Then obviously the price point of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is more than $125. So you would want to go this route. But I would love to have you on my team. We've welcomed a number of new people so far this month. Very, very exciting. We are having our team meeting next Tuesday, and we're going to be doing some show and tell, which I love. Everybody brings whatever they're working on and shares it. So much fun. Usually do a prize drawing. We do some mystery stamping. We talk a little bit of business, and then of course I answer any questions that might come up. And then in December, we're having our Christmas party where we typically play bingo for prizes. So that's going to be really fun too. So I would love to have you join my team. If you have an order of $35 that you're going to place, you should just join rather than place the order, because it is the best deal that we have. So all right. Rewards when you order from my online store. If you order $20, you get Stampin' rewards. 35, and then you get my PDF of the month. For October, it is the Modern Christmas. For November, it's going to be the Peaceful Garden. If your order is $35 or more, you get the PDF plus the Stamp Happy Party, which is going to be happening on November 19th. Typically, it's the second Wednesday of every month, but we're going to backstage, and so we had to push it back a week. And then if your order is $50, you get all of that, plus my Global Creative Tutorial. The month of October, it is the Modern Christmas again. Of course, the projects are not the same within the two PDFs. And then next month, it is the Traditions of Christmas. So pretty exciting. We've shipped out the Modern Christmas classes, went out this week. We do have some left over, so I do have a link in the description if you're interested in getting one. 12 weeks of Christmas ideas coming out again tomorrow. I think it's going to be week 5 tomorrow. That's crazy to me. But if you aren't subscribed to my newsletter, you can with the link in the description of this video. And I would love to have you join me so you can get those great ideas. My Stampin' Blends labels, I do have these on my blog at barbstamps.com/shop. It is a free download for you. All you need to do is get a 3/8 inch circle punch, which I do give you a link in that PDF file for you to find that. Stamp Happy Academy. Dina did our 3rd live of October today. She had some super cute projects, and I will be live next Wednesday morning, so looking forward to that. Stamp Happy Academy is only $20 a month. You get 3 live classes a month. You get our Stamp Happy Party, and then you get the PDF to our monthly online class, and then we do have a quarterly bingo with prizes, so that's really fun. I always have adhesive kits for sale, and I have 2 packages of Christmas cards left. So if you're looking for some Christmas cards, whether they're for ideas or you just don't have time to make your own this year, I have some available. All right. Kelly wants to know how Kelly's mom is doing. I think the same. I haven't heard of any drastic changes, so please keep Kelly and her family in your thoughts and prayers, as she could really use them. Okay, so what do I have for you this week? I was looking through all my Christmas paper, and there are some papers that are no longer available, that aren't available right now from Stampin' Up. One of them is the Traditions of Christmas. The other one is I think it's called Tags and Christmas Tags and More, or something like that. And so I thought to myself, what other fun paper do I have that I could use? I looked through my stash, and then this was in there, and I had kind of forgotten all about it. We did a stamp camp last year using this Reindeer Memories scrapbooking workshop kit, and then the Reindeer Memories stamp set. And we created like 20 projects. We had a full PDF for the class and all that kind of stuff. And so I decided to pull this out because there's a lot of good stuff in here, particularly the Designer Series paper. And so this is still available. It's in the online store. You can just search Reindeer Memories and it will come up. And I also have our PDF that we did for our stamp camp. I've got it half price on my website through the end of the year. So there is a link in the description box below to get the PDF if you want the PDF for this class. We did some super amazing things. Somebody asked a question about Stamp Happy Academy. Oh yeah, you have access to every single thing that's on there for as long as you're a member. Let's see, Maria. Yes, as long as you're a member, you have access to everything that's in there. And we probably have, oh my gosh, 200 live classes that are, the replays are posted in there. We've probably got 200 online classes. And then, of course, the Stamp Happy parties that we've been doing since April, all the PDFs for those are in there. So there is a ton of content in there, and it is only $20 a month, and I'd love for you to check it out. And then somebody else said we had a fantastic stamp camp. We did, you guys. Here's actually one of the projects that we made last year. It's a gift card holder, but look at this. Watch how this works. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? Yeah, I did an actual video on how to put this whole thing together. So that is part of that PDF if you're interested in getting it. So anyways, in this kit, there are lots of fun stuff. It's basically designed to make 12 scrapbook pages, but we did not make any scrapbook pages. We just did cards and 3D type item things. So you get the directions for the scrapbooking if you're interested in that. You also get a bunch of die cuts, punch out things that we have here. So here's just a bunch of the die cuts. You get a lot of photo placeholders, just all kinds of fun things that are in here. And then you get lots of designer series papers, which was what I was super excited about. So look at this. These are some perfect Christmas papers. You've got just like red polka dots like snow. You've got these fun red and green Christmas lights. You've got a pool party striped paper. Some of these are double-sided. Yeah, this one's double-sided, so you get the little reindeers on the back of that. This one is double-sided. This is like snowflakes in pool party, and then the back of that is jingle bells in red. And I think you get 2 of each of these papers, if I remember right. Plus, you get some two-tone cardstock. This paper too, so you might get more than 2 of each. You might get 10 total sheets of designer series paper. Some are double-sided, some are not, as you can tell with this red polka dot paper here. Then you get some two-tone cardstock that I have already taken out of here and used myself. I think there was garden green pool party. I can't remember what else. Maybe Granny Apple Green. Somebody asked if the DSP is still orderable. No, just this. It's in this kit, Diana, if that's what you were wondering. You get 1 sticker sheet. I had ordered an extra sticker sheet last year, but you get a cute little sticker sheet with all these fun borders. You just get, there's a lot of stuff in here. I think there was like 6 pieces of two-tone cardstock, and then you get some of this willow white cardstock. So there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's still available. So I was pretty excited about that. It's not on clearance or anything like that. So if you're interested, get it. Or if you're just interested in getting the class, definitely check out that link in the description of this video to get the PDF file at half price. So there we go. Okay, so both of my projects today are using the paper out of this kit. We are going to start with this one here. We will start with this. So I'm using the big party banners. Is that what they're called? Yeah, party banners dies. I'm using the Jar of Joy stamp set, not the punch. I'm using the seasonal tags stamp set for some sentiments. And then I'm using the words for the season dies because I used these once before on an easel card that I did with the Gathering Together fall paper. And I loved how that turned out. So I decided to use those once again. So here is what I have. So I have die cut the words Merry and Christmas. Whoops. Out of real red cardstock. And look at me, I did use my adhesive sheets on that. So it should be easy for me to attach to my paper or my card. Come on, you get out of there. Oh, the M is separate from the Airy. So it's the M and then it's the ERRY. And then we also have the C and then the rest of the word Christmas. So again, this should be pretty easy for me to attach to my project now that I have just used my adhesive sheets. Okay, there we go. So we can put the dies back in their container so that I don't lose them. And if you guys were here a few weeks ago when I did the Autumn Wishes card, maybe I should try to find that real quick. It was an easel card that we made, but this is what I wanted to show you. I did kind of an ombre effect on the words autumn and wishes. I hope the camera's picking that up. So you can tell it's a little bit darker down here, and then it kind of gradates up and gets lighter. I think that's the word. Anyways, I'm going to do that same kind of thing with this Merry and Christmas. So I need a scratch piece of paper so that I can color this. So we're going to put the 2 words onto our scratch paper. And then I think I'm going to use the cherry cobbler markers. And we're going to start with the light. And I'm going to go about halfway up each thing. So I'm going to go about halfway up this M. And we'll go across. And I'm going to do this on both. Oops, get that off my finger. Same thing, I'm going to go about halfway up on the ERRY. Of course, the I hangs down below the line, so we're going to go a little lower on that. Then we're going to come over here to the C, and we're going to get the bottom of the C. And then we're going to come over here to the rest of the word, and again, about halfway, give or take. And I just feel like this just adds kind of a little cool something to the finished project when you have this kind of ombre word going on here. And I was reminded of doing this technique from the $1 million card that Stampin' Up custom made for me, which was really awesome. They had done a little bit of this type of thing on the bottom of that card. So that's kind of where I saw that. Okay, so that's the light cherry cobbler. And now we're going to bring in the dark. And I'm just going to very barely go along the bottom, just to add a tiny bit of darkness down there. I'll just kind of go across. Do I want to go? Maybe I'll go halfway down on this. Okay, whoops. And then I'm going to come over here and get just the bottom of the C. And then we'll just get the very bottom of everything else here. This is one of those things that I thought about doing beforehand, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted you to sort of see how I was doing it. And it doesn't take too long, honestly. A little bit more. Okay. So then if I bring this up, you should be able to see that nice gradation that we have there. Maybe it looks better on white. Maybe not white without green below it. But anyways, I'm hoping you can see that because it does look pretty cool. So that's the first thing we've got done here. So then the next thing, I need to get my trimmer. Okay, and we have a 4 by 11 inch piece of Pool Party cardstock here. And I've already scored it, but I'll just kind of go through the motions with you. So you would put your piece in with the 11-inch side at the top of your trimmer, and you would scoot it over to the 4-inch mark, and you would score. Then you're going to scoot it over to 5.5, and you're going to score. And then 7. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold it up so it makes like the letter M. Okay. Or it could be a W. Either way, it doesn't make any difference. That's how you want to fold it. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to bring it tight so that the middle pieces are together. And we're going to add a little bit of adhesive to the ends of the edges, the outside edges of one side. It doesn't really matter as long as you haven't decorated it yet. So let me get my glue there, and then you're just going to fold that back. Okay. So we have the two sides. Then you're going to also close up this on the outside. So go ahead and just add your glue in there and get this also. So we're going to close that up as well. Okay, so I'm just kind of pressing everything into place so that when I open it, I have a pouch to hold a gift card. That's basically what we're doing here. We're actually going to make this kind of like a little suitcase. Whoops, I got some glue squirting out. I got a little close to the edge. So I'm just going to wipe that off with my finger. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Then I have some pieces of paper. So what do I have? Well, here, first of all, I have my handles for my suitcase or treat bag or whatever. And I made these with the party banners dies. So I took a couple of the party banners dies. Let's just see which ones did I use. So if this is the smallest, 1, 2, 3, number 4, 5, 6, and 7 are the 2 that I used. Okay. And all I did was take a scrap of Pool Party. Oh, where's the scrap in here? This would work. So I took a scrap and I placed my dies. And you can use like some Post-it tape or something if you want to keep these together, to keep them from shifting around. But I did it something like that so that I had equal distance all the way around. And then when I ran it through, then I came out with a little piece like this that looks like a handle. Okay. So that's how I made the handles. Put that away. So then what I want to do is I want to glue my handles onto my piece here. So I'm going to glue one on the back and one on the front, and I'm going to glue them in so they're going to be the same. So I'll glue one on first, and then I'll add the other one in the same position. So I am also putting these on so that both of the front sides are showing. When you die cut things, there is definitely like a back side and a front side. And so I'm having both of the front sides show. Okay. So then all you want to do is you just want to take this and then figure out where you want it to be on this piece. So we're just going to kind of guess. I'm looking for equal distance at the ends here. And then I want to make sure that it isn't, that it's not going to make my card longer than 5.5. So let's make sure we aren't. Ooh, we are a tiny bit longer than 5.5. So we are going to scooch that and change our position just ever so slightly, because I want to make sure that I can fit it into a regular envelope. Okay. So I think that looks pretty decent. So now I'm going to attach this one so that it's in the same place. And again, I'm having the front side up. Okay, so we're just going to line it up with the other one that we have here and just press that into place. Obviously, we're going to cover up the handles so that they aren't shown. So this is the back. So for the back side, I took just the striped piece of designer series paper out of that scrapbook kit, and I'm just going to put that on the back and cover up the ends of my handles. Okay, and I cut this piece to 3 7/8 inch square. Since my main piece is 4 by 4, I went 3 7/8 inch square. Okay. So we have, so that's how that, I knew that was the back, because that's how you want to do it. You want to open it up, you want to see your gift card in there, and then that would be the back. So then for the front, I have 2 pieces for the front. So I have a piece of red that is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And then I have a piece of this fun snowflake paper, and that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to add these 2 pieces together. There's going to be just a very slight border, but I just wanted enough red to kind of have the whole thing pop. And then we're going to add this to the front of the card. And that way we're going to cover up our handles on the front also. And again, we're going to have just a very slight border around the whole thing. So there, that's what we've got so far. Cute, cute. Now I decided I wanted to add a little piece of designer series paper to this little section here. So this little section measures 1.5 by 4. So my piece of the polka dot red paper is 1 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I think I am going to go ahead and put this actual project on my blog. I don't put every project on my blog. In fact, I don't put very many of them. But I think I will put this one on my blog because it's super cute and it's really easy to do. I know it looks complicated, but it's not. Okay, so then for the front, I'm going to bring in my Merry and Christmas words. So we're going to start with the Christmas here. And to get the adhesive sheets off, I like to pinch it between my finger and my thumb, and then I just take my pokey end and I just kind of push it in there, and then it eventually will find this little spot here between the two pieces, and then I can peel this off. You do want to be a little bit careful. You don't want to rip it off too much. Now, this does die cut a tittle. If you're wondering what in the world is a tittle is the dot on a lowercase I or a lowercase j. And this die does give you a tittle. However, I'm not using the tittle. Okay, so I am just going to line this up. Just kind of press it down so that it hopefully is straight. I think so. Now I need my C. So I'll do that same thing again. Just kind of press in between those two pieces, and then it just sort of finds it. And then we'll add the C. Okay. Do the same thing with the ERRY. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries to find it. There we go. And I'm not even really using my eyes because my eyes are terrible and I don't even know if I'd be able to see that. So I'm just kind of just pressing that pokey end into where I think that probably is, and it's just finding it for me. Okay, so now we're going to put the ERRY on here and also try to make sure that that is nice and straight. Try this again. Is the fourth time going to be a charm, or is the fourth time going to be the time that it says, nope, we're not helping you this time? There we go. We got it. I was going to say it's never failed me, so I don't know why it would now. Again, I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to tear that little curly Q on my M. Okay, and then we're going to get the M on here. And there we have Merry Christmas. So super cute so far. The inside is pretty simple. I just put a 1/2-inch strip of that same Polka Dot Designer Series paper. And then I took the Happy Holidays out of the seasonal tag set and I stamped it in Pool Party. And I'm just going to put that right here on the inside. So you can write your little message there. I do like to do some gift card holders around this time of year because I know a lot of people, you know, have younger people that they're buying gifts for, and younger people tend to want money or gift cards because, you know, the things that they want are probably too expensive for us to buy. So giving a gift card is a great way to still give them something. Okay, so then I have 2 circles here. I have, whoops. Actually, we're going to have 3 total. So we're going to have a 2-inch, a 1 7/8 inch, and a 1 3/4 inch. And so what that does is that gives us, I've got the largest one is red, the second largest one is Pool Party, and then we're going to make the smallest one is going to be out of white. Need to find a piece of cardstock. Is that won't work. This will work. Okay, so I'm going to bring in now the Jar of Joy stamp set. I'm going to use this cute little snowman, his little hat topper and scarf, and then the snow. And so we're just going to kind of make a little scene here. Where is my black? Here we go. So I'm going to stamp our snowman in Memento. So I have to ask, would any of you make this, do you think? Is this something that some of you would make? Or are you just like, no, I would not make that? I'm just curious. I mean, not exactly like I'm making it, obviously. You could put your own spin on it, or you could make it exactly like I'm making it. That's totally fine with me. But I'm just wondering if it's something that you guys might make. Oh, yay. Beverly says yes. So this is his scarf and little hat top, his hat band. So I'm going to try to make sure that I get this on there. Yeah, that looks about right. Oh, yay, you guys are saying you would try it. Oh, that's awesome. I'd love to hear that. Okay, now we need some Pool Party. Because it's not really that hard. I mean, I feel like the hardest part of a lot of things like this is the decoration. It's not the basic construction of the card or whatever. It's just, you know, what am I going to do to decorate it? But honestly, this one is not that hard to decorate. Got a piece of hair on that. Okay, and now we're going to use the smallest punch, which is the 1 3/4, and we're just going to punch this out. So I'm going to do it about like so. And how cute is that? I am going to bring in a pool party marker. This is a light, and I am going to kind of go underneath the snow line, and then maybe a little bit around the edge of the snowman here, just on the base. Then, of course, it wouldn't be complete if we didn't use a wink of Stella, right? Yay, you guys are saying, yeah, you could definitely do it as a birthday card. Absolutely. You could do it for anything. I mean, any reason you wanted to give somebody some money or a gift card? Absolutely. We're just going to add some wink of Stella to the bottom. So there we go. We got a little bit of shimmer there for the snow. And then all we have to do now is just glue all these layers together. So we'll do that. And then this is going to be, oh goodness. Wait. I screwed that up. Ugh, I need a different red one. This has to go in the trash. I need a different red one because the red is the bottom one. Where's my 2-inch punch? Here we go. I was thinking to myself, that looked like a lot of space. Okay, so the red is the 2-inch. The blue is the 1 7/8. And then the white is the 1 3/4. And so we're just going to kind of attach this little tag up around our handle. Okay, so do something like that. What, do I have red ink on my hands? Good grief, I think I do. Well, hold on, I have to take this off because I have another one that's sitting over here that doesn't have red ink on it. Somehow Barb has ink on her hands. Surprise. I'm not really surprised. But here's one I did earlier today, so it's a tiny bit different. It has a little more blue on it than I wanted, but it doesn't have red smudge, so that's good. Okay, we've got some baker's twine, and we have a bow that I tied with our fun red shiny ribbon, and it is really shiny. It's just really pretty. So I am going to poke a hole in this. You could use your take your pick tool, or if you happen to have a 1/16 of an inch hole punch, you can use that, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, and then I'm going to use a floss threader to get my twine through. So I've got a little floss threader here. I really never knew what floss threaders were. I mean, I knew what they were called and I knew what they looked like, but I didn't really know what they did until I got my bridge. And now, holy cow, I don't know what in the world a person did back in the day when you didn't have floss threaders and you had to, you know, floss around your bridge. What did people do? I don't know. All right, so we're going to tie this around the handle here. Okay, so we want it to dangle a little, not a ton, just so it's a little bit floppy. So we have this little kind of fun little thing on here like you'd have on a purse or a bag. And then I'm going to cut some of this off. Okay, so we have a little dangly tag, and then I'm just going to take this bow and I'm going to attach it with a glue dot. Where are my glue dots? You can see my gift card is trying to weasel its way out of there. Okay, so we're going to add our ribbon. We've got our little dangly buddy, and then we have all the fun that's on the inside. So how cute is that? Super cute. I did bring in some gems. I don't know what I wanted to use. Maybe these little sparkly ones. Just kind of add a tiny bit of bling to the front here. I could use red or I could use clear. I don't know what I want to do. Well, let's just try a clear one and see what it does. These are little snowflakes, so they kind of fit the whole theme here of what we're doing. Actually, maybe I'll just throw a couple of them on there, honestly, just so we can have some bling. But yes, that's it right there. Okay, so there you have it. A fun gift card holder that you could do for any occasion, honestly. And yeah, oh, I guess I might need to attach that with a dimensional or something. It doesn't want to stay. Maybe it's the way I tied it on. I don't know. Anyways, it is super cute. Thank you so much. And it's cute because we use that really cute paper. I'm so glad I saw that in my stash because I haven't used it, obviously, since last Christmas. So, it was kind of at the very back. You know how things get to the back. If you have stuff stacked up in a row, that's what I do. And that's where it was. It was stacked in a row and it was in the back. So I'm glad that I was searching today and could come across it. So let me just do kind of a quick little tidy up here. You guys know how I am. I hate a mess. So I'm trying to tidy up my space just enough that we can bring in our next fun project. And this is a card style that I have done before, but I was reintroduced to it by, where's my card? One of the cards that I got to congratulate me on my million. This is from one of my customers, Darla. She is a sweetheart, and she sent me this fun card. I can't remember what this bridge card maybe or something like that. So this inspired the card that I'm going to make next, okay? So this is where the inspiration came from. I have made them before, but, there's so many cards in so little time, right? Okay, so we're going to pull in the Festive Friends because why wouldn't you? These little characters are absolutely adorable. I'm also going to pull in the traditional labels just for the Merry Christmas for the inside of the card. And let me get my pieces and parts out here and we'll get started. So I have a thick white card base, so 8.5 by 5.5. I have this is the middle? This is the third largest stylish shapes circle. So you've got the largest, the next largest, and then this one. So that's where that came from. I have a die cut tag. This tag comes in the Festive Friends stamp set, but you can see that I made it shorter. So what I did was I cut out a piece of Granny Apple Green, the entire tag, and then I kind of scooted it up. So if I was going to make this even shorter, I would just scoot this up a little bit farther. It'll just sit right in there in the confines of the cutting area. And then you could run it through again and make it even shorter. So I just ran it through and make it this short. I don't even know how short that is. So that's probably 3/4 of an inch that I cut off. But I didn't need it to be quite so tall. So that's where that comes from. And this is actually cut. These are out of two-tone cardstock. Okay, so this is Granny Apple Green two-tone. This is Real Red two-tone. Both of these are the dark sides up. Okay. Why am I using two-tone cardstock? I'm going to tell you. Because Designer Series paper is actually printed. It's a white piece of paper that runs through a machine that prints ink onto it. And that is the same thing that happens with our two-tone cardstock. It is a piece of white paper that runs through a machine that then puts puts printed ink on top of it. So I have found that a lot of times two-tone cardstock will match your Designer Series paper better than our actual cardstocks do. And that is the case with this. This does match better with the two-tone rather than the cardstock, especially like this piece here. Let me pull out some red. And you might not even be able to tell the difference. I am a pretty anal person, so I can tell the difference. So here's the DSP. Here's the two-tone cardstock. Here is the actual Real Red cardstock. So I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. I can with my naked eyes. Maybe the camera's not going to pick it up. This is the back side of the two-tone. Obviously, you can tell the difference there. But the two-tone it just matches better. So that's why I did that. So I have 4 pieces of Real Red two-tone cardstock with the dark side up. And all these pieces measure 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. Then my Designer Series paper pieces are all 1 by 4. Okay, so those are the easy measurements. Then we have another larger piece, same pattern of paper. This is 2 7/8 by 4, I think. Where's my ruler? I think it's 2 7/8 by 4. It is. No, I lied. 2 3/4 by 4. This is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. And then I have another piece. This is the Jingle Bells, which is the opposite side of that paper we used on the last card. And this is a 1 by 5 3/8. And this is 1 1/8 by 5 1/2. Okay, so those are all the pieces and parts. We have our card base, and we're going to do some cutting on this to make that fun bridge piece. So simple. So all it is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and you're going to put it in your trimmer with the short side at the top. You definitely want to fold it in half first so you know where that score line is. And then I'm going to line it up at the 1 1/4 inch mark on the other side here of the track. That's just how I like to do it. And then I'm going to cut down to that score line, and I have a little tick mark on the side of my blade that shows me where the blade is actually cutting, and so I can just do that and I get right to that edge right there. Then I'm going to rotate this around. I'm going to slide it over again to the 1 1/4 inch mark, and I'm going to start, well, at the bottom. Well, I'm starting at the bottom of my card, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to push my blade straight up until I hit that little mark there, okay? And then that's going to give me these little floppy pieces. Okay, so now we can go ahead and add some of these things. So I'm going to do that. Oh no, somebody had an emergency. Well, definitely sending prayers and good thoughts to your brother. All right, so I'm going to do this. These are going to have very slight borders. Now, if you don't want to do the doubling of this, you could just make your designer series paper the same size as the two-tone cardstock instead. Okay. So I'm trying not to put the beads of the glue too thick because it'll squish out just like it did on that last thing to me. Okay. And then these are going to go on the front, on these two little side panels here. So they're going to fit right on here. Same thing, just a slight border. Oh gosh, not upside down, not upside down. We have Christmas lights here. They need to be right side up. Whew. Good thing I noticed that. That would have been a sad day. Okay, then this one we need to do the same thing. Christmas lights going the correct direction. Okay, then we're going to bring this big section in. Add this. And again, this is all the dark side of the two-tone cardstock. And then we'll add this to the front. And just as a shameless plug, I do still sell packages of samples of the two-tone cardstock. They're 6 by 6 pieces. You get 48 sheets in a package, and you can check out. I have 2 different packages on my blog, and the links are in the description of this video. So we've got those pieces done. So now we're going to bring in these 2 other little side pieces. So we're going to glue that to this. Again, just a slight border. I'm having trouble seeing this. Maybe I didn't need these 2 layers. I probably didn't, but what can you do, right? Okay. And then this is going to go in this little section over here. And then this one's going to do the same thing. Get these attached. And, oh, I moved it out of the way. There we go. Okay. And then this is going to go over here on this end. Same thing, that slight border. So this is what we have so far. So fun. Now I'm going to glue my Jingle Bell paper to this other little strip. And this is where we're going to make the bridge. Okay, so now we're going to attach this to the front. So we're only going to put glue on this little strip in these 2 end spots, okay? So we're just going to add a little glue to the end spots. And then we're going to attach this, I don't know, about 1 inch from the bottom, give or take. I mean, everybody's card might be different, so you can decide where you need to put that. And that's how we've made that fun little bridge card. Okay. And there you go. So it makes it look like you've got 3 different layers going on here when you really only have this one card base. So now for the decorating, we've got that. We have our circle, which is going to go on this. I also have, need a piece of white so I can stamp my little friend here, the little elf. I thought I had a piece of white. Oh, wait, no, I don't. I thought I did. Is he going to fit on here? Well, for all intents and purposes, he will, because I already have him done. So there's our friendly little elf. And now we're going to color him. And I'm going to use Granny Apple Green and Shaded Spruce blends. So I'm going to take the dark Shaded Spruce, because dark Shaded Spruce is very similar to Garden Green. And so I'm just going to go over his hat band here, and then his belt, and then the little cuffs on his shirt with this marker. There we go. So if you guys made one of these bridge cards before, I think it's called a bridge card. If it's not, please somebody correct me. But I thought that it was. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in the dark Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to do his little jacket here. And then his little feet. And then his hat. Oh, and his sleeves too, his little sleeves here. These little guys are so cute. I did a really cute box card the other week in one of my lives that was really cute. They used the other 2 characters in this. And then I've got the light Granny Apple. And I thought about leaving this white, and I probably should have, but the one that I die cut is not white, so it is what it is. And then I have number, what I call 1000. This is the light naturals that Stampin' Up has. And so I'm just going to kind of do his little freckles, and then maybe the insides of his ear, just a tiny little bit. Nothing too crazy. And then when we cut him out, here he is in all of his cuteness. And so I'm going to add my circle. Well, actually, no, I'm going to add him to the circle first. Now, I'm not putting him like right in the middle of the circle. I'm actually going to put him kind of so that his feet are at the bottom of the circle, and the rest of him is just taking up the rest of the circle. And then that's going to be put on dimensionals on the red. Okay. And then he's just going to kind of sit about right there. All right, now in this little set of dies, the Festive Friends, there's lots of other pieces in here. There are 2 different trees, kind of a modern eclectic tree and then a kind of a standard tree. There's a die for each of the little characters, of course the tag die. There's another little tag die here, but you can also get these fun little stars. And then there are some snowflakes and some more stars. So I went ahead and die cut some of these smaller little kind of snowflakey pieces out of the 2-tone cardstock. And since I have the dark side of the 2-tone up, I wanted to use these little light sides. So these are all the light side of the 2-tone cardstock, all these little pieces that I'm putting on right now. So I'm just using a tiny bit of glue. If I can get a tiny bit to come out here, I probably should be using my other little thing that I have for liquid glue. All right, get on there. Okay, and then I have all these other little pieces that came out. So I'm just going to kind of throw a couple of dots of glue on here, and then we'll transfer over these little stars. I'm going to use my take your pick tool if I can find it. Does anybody see it? I do not. I see the lid, and I see a bunch of, oh, here it is. It was hiding. Okay, so we're going to take a couple, here's another little snowflake that we can add, maybe right here. And then these tiny little, other little stars we're going to throw on, just because they are that cute. And that just kind of jazzes up the tag just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but you can see, definitely see the difference in the two-tone where we have the light showing on the dark. It definitely shows up. So I'm going to push all these little bits out of the way because I don't need them. So now I'm just going to kind of add my tag right there on the front. But first, I'm going to need some twine and a little chunk of that same ribbon. So I'm going to thread my ribbon through, and then I'm going to use the twine to kind of tie it together here. Okay, so we'll bring the twine in, and we're going to tie a knot. I'm going to try anyway to make a knot. There, I think we got it. Oh, so cute these little guys are. And this paper, I just love these papers out of this kit. So if you've forgotten about it, I hope I reminded you. And I'm sure a lot of you guys maybe have this, or maybe you have some of this paper left over from last year. So let's trim these ends off. And then we shall trim the ribbon ends off also. There we go. And then we're going to attach our little guy. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here on this bar, I guess we'll call it. And we will add him because he is pretty cute. Then I took a 1/2-inch piece of white cardstock and I stamped the words, Santa's coming to town, in garden green. And so now I'm just going to kind of tuck this underneath him. Let's see, where do I want to do it? Something like that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just at the very end here, so that when I tuck that underneath him here, I can stick it right there. So we have the front, we flip it open, we still have fun there, and then we flip it open again, and I thought I would add this little snowflake just because it's cute, and I have it because I die cut it and then I didn't actually use it for anything. So I'll stick that up there. And then I need my Merry Christmas. So I need some blocks. So here is the Christmas. And I think, whoops, I don't want to put it on that side. I want to put it on this side. So I think I'm going to do it in red. Where did I put my red? Ah, Tana's watching tonight. Hello, Miss Tana. How are you across the mountain? Okay, so I'm going to stamp Christmas. I think I'm going to do it a little bit cockeyed. That way I don't have to worry about it being perfect. You know what I'm saying? If you purposely make something crooked, then that makes it a little bit easier. I need to get another block for my Mary, and then we'll ink that up in the red also. And we will stamp that also a little bit cockeyed, like so. Cute! Okay, now I have to ask you guys. I did color his little, I guess the little button on his shirt red, but then I was thinking to myself, I don't have any tiny ones of these left, so I don't know if this is going to look stupid. You guys can tell me. If I was to take a medium one of these and stick it on there, does that look dumb? Is that too big? Do you guys think that's too big? Let me know in the comments. Just say yes or no if you think it's too big. Would a gift card fit in the bottom inside? Yes, I believe it would. If you like put a little piece of paper or something in there, sure, why not? Absolutely, it would fit in there. So yeah, you could put just a little piece of cardstock or a little piece of designer series paper in there, and absolutely you could tuck a gift card in there for sure. Good question though. All right, so you guys are saying that it works, I think. I think you're saying, oh, somebody did say it was too big. Let's see, Flo said it was too big. Okay, wait a minute. I forgot what I even said. Was the no? Was yes, it was too big. No, it wasn't too big. Is that right? I forgot what I even asked you guys. That was like 2 minutes ago, if even that. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. Somebody help me. Tony says it works. Sue says it's cute. Flo said it's too big. And then I don't remember what in the world I even asked you guys. So, okay, you're saying it looks good. Boy, what a dingbat I am. Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, thanks, you guys. If I had a smaller one, I asked if it was too big. Okay, good. I think if I had the smaller one, I think it would look better, but I don't. I've used them all up, so we just got to go with what we have, right? That's how it works. So that's my little bridge card for you guys. I'll bring in my other thing for you. So here we have our fun little gift card holder. It's like a little bag or a little purse or a little suitcase or something. And then we have our fun little bridge card. So I think I'm going to try to get both of these up on my blog. So there'll probably be 2 different blog posts, but I'm going to try to do that this weekend for you guys. Okay. So my blog is barbstamps.com, but do give me a little bit of time because it takes a while to photograph everything and type it all up, but I will do my best so that at least you can have all the dimensions and the link to the video and everything in the same place. So thanks you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you guys have a great Halloween, and I will see you guys again next week. So ta-ta for now, guys. Bye-bye.